Welcome to our Memory Book Working with Portraits live webinar. This afternoon, we will be focusing on organizing class portraits and creating class pages. The information I will be covering can be found in our Memory Book manual under the Design and Creation tab, starting on page 156. This webinar will be approximately 20 minutes long. By now, everybody should have their login information. When you get logged in and you want to see if your portraits have been uploaded, you'll go here to your Create an Image Library, and I encourage you to go ahead and send in those links that you get from your photographer or the CD with your portraits on it, and we'll upload them. And on our administrative side, when we upload them, we'll link the name with the portrait so that whenever you're creating your class pages, the names will come over there with the pictures. Today, the class I'm going to be working with is Martin K. What I would advise you to do is go down through here and you can print a preview of these different folders. When you send us your portraits, you're going to let us know how you want them sorted. If you want them sorted by grade or by teacher. If they're sorted by grade, then like both of these fifth grade classes would be in one group, and fourth grade and so on. Now, if you sort them by teacher, they're going to be more individualized and smaller groups. If you're going to flow them onto the pages by class, then I would choose class or teacher. You can always combine these groups if you wanted to. So if you told us to sort them by teacher and then you decided you wanted to put all the second grade in the book all together, you'll just select the images and move them to one folder. So to get a preview of these folders, you'll click on the folder name, and up at the top column here, let me make my screen just a little bit bigger so you can see that a little bit better. You'll click on this preview button. It's going to create a PDF of the page or of the folder. It's going to have the name of the student. You can download these and email them to your different teachers, or if you aren't familiar with all the kids, maybe the school secretary could help you out with this. And so you could download them and then print them out, or you can email them to your team. Once you've got those returned to you and you know what changes you're going to make, then you'll need to go through here and organize your kids. You're probably going to have some kids in the wrong groups. So to move students, you'll just click and drag a student out of one class and put it in another folder. And then there's two ways to change the names on the kids. If you would rather work with a spreadsheet, you can go here to the coverage report. Now here it's only sorted by last name or first name. There isn't any grade associated with this. So it may be a little bit more difficult to see who's in what grade. But if you notice anyone that needs their a name change, you'll just scroll down through here. And I've noticed that I have a little girl named Dawn Kennedy. I want to change it to Donna. So I'm scrolling down to the K's. And any change I make here in the spelling is going to be reflected in the image library. Okay, so here it is. And this is also a good place to check for duplicates, because if you had two of one person in here, they're going to be listed one right after the other. Okay, so I've corrected that name. Let's go back here to your image library. And let's go to our folder that was in Martin K. And there's this little girl's name. It's been changed to Donna. Now, if you want to view these thumbnails larger, you can use the slider here, and the names will show up underneath. Now, if I manually wanted to fix her name here in this area, you'll click on the I next to the picture, and then click on the pencil, and then you would just type in their name here. Okay, just a moment. I have one person that can't hear. Um, you may need to log into the meeting again and choose the one where it says to use the computer's audio. Otherwise, you'll need to call in and you'll listen over the phone. Okay, so let me make these smaller again here so we can see a little bit easier. So when I look down through here, I notice I have a duplicate. I'm going to address that after we flow them onto the page so I can show you how to fix those when you figure that out after you've put them on the page. If you need a no photo for a student that isn't there, but you want to have a placeholder, you can go here to the no photo folder and you'll just click and drag one into the folder you need them in. Well, let me choose a different one.
Yeah. Windows what?
Now, when you're tagging a no photo image, you need to remove the tag first because if you don't, if you've got other no photos placed in other folders, it's going to change the name on those. So you remove the tag and we're
Oh,
going to add a
this
new
is
one.
annoying.
And I'm just going to type in a
Oh, this is really warm again.
name. And now that student is in the alphabetical order here.
Well, let's actually wait a little bit until your class goes to recess, okay? Just in case you're teaching right now.
Okay, so I've gone through and I've changed all my
Oh,
names and
that's
I've
fine.
made sure
Yep.
everybody's in the right class. So I'm going to go to my page now and I'm going to flow it on there. Been working on other stuff in my book. Okay, so the flow function, you'll need to have a template on the page. So you'll go here to your designs and you'll go under portrait. Here are different size portraits that you can put on the page. You can just click and drag these over and then not save it if you don't like it. I'm going to go to the next page and just show you. So here's what all the different templates look like. So if you click and drag one over to the page and you don't like it, then you just keep scrolling down here and put a different one on. And then you'll need to save it once you've chosen that. Okay, so today I'm going to flow the Martin K class on here. It's my kindergarten class. And it's giving me a warning already that says I only have 24 positions available. So I need to adjust this flow panel that's on the page. So we'll go up here to flow options at the top toolbar. And I'm just going to put this over to the side for a second so you can see my page. When you first have a template on there and you open the flow options, this automatic will be checked and you want to uncheck that so you can manually resize these images image boxes and how many rows and columns you put on here. Because if it's clicked on automatic, it tries to fill the page with them. So I'm going to need 32 spots. So when you're choosing a template, you want to choose a template for your largest class so that all your class portraits are the same size throughout the book. So you may have, if you have a large class and then you have a little small class, you may have, once you flow them onto the page, you may have to fill in the bottom with some clip art or maybe a class picture or some candids or something. So I have 12 on each page, so I'm going to make another column. So that gave me 36, if my math is correct. So now I have 32 spots available, and I have 32 images to put on the page. Okay, so once you adjust that, you'll need to go up here into your toolbar and save it. So now I've chosen Martin K, and I want the first name and the last name in that order. It's saying I have 32 images, 32 remaining images. I'm going to start on page 6 and I'm going to stop on page 6. Now, if I just made these image boxes small enough for all the kids to fit on one page, I would just choose that single page, like page start page 6 and stop page 6. So once you do that, you'll click flow, and there the kids have popped over here on the page with their names. So I've noticed right away that I've got my teacher down here in the bottom row, and I really want him to come first, so I'm going to have to adjust that. And then, as you noticed, I have the duplicate here at the end. So I'm going to have to reset the flow. So make sure your class is selected. Click reset, and it pulls all the students out of there. And now I'm going to go to my image library, and I'm going to make my corrections. So if you have a duplicate, you can either create a folder over here under portraits and call it duplicates, or you can just click on your little eye and you can, under details, say don't use portrait. So then you get this little icon across the portrait and letting you know that one's not going to flow in there. Now I've got to move my teacher to the front, and we'll do this by clicking on the eye. We go to the details, and we're going to classify him as a teacher. And there's several different classifications here. If they're classified as a teacher, they're going to come in first. And if you had two teachers and you had them both classified as teacher, they're going to flow in alphabetically by the teacher. And the same with the assistant. So a teacher would come first, and then an assistant, and then a student, and other will flow at the very end. So I've got him as teacher. I'm going to apply my changes and click out of there. Go back to our page, and we'll start this little flowing process again. Go Martin K. Got 32 spots. And if you'll notice here, I have 31 images, and that's because I marked one do not use. And here in the thumbnails over at the left-hand side, my teacher's coming in first. And then if we scroll all the way to the end, there's just one of that little Nicole Young. So I think we're ready. So we're going to click flow, and the teacher's first, and I only have one of my duplicates. So um, it saves automatically once you click flow, so you don't have to worry about saving. So, and if you decided that you needed to add a student, what you would do is click reset, go into your image library, pull your portrait in there that you need to add. And if you need to tag it, you'll click the little blue eye and then put a tag on it, and then they'll flow in here alphabetically also. Now, if you're all done flowing all your pages and you're just giving it a final proof, and you notice that maybe one of the kids' names is spelled incorrectly, um, you can always come in here and expand the flow. And to expand the flow, it means that you are going to um, ungroup basically all these images together. So you wouldn't be able to flow into it again. You'd have to put a new flow panel on the page and reflow the kids. Any change you make here, like when you're changing their names, it does not change it in the image library. It only changes it here on the page. But to expand the flow, you'll click up here on your flow options and you'll click I understand. And it's just making sure that you know that you cannot flow into that flow panel again. When you click on these are all individual elements. And this one's still a flow panel. So it's still got the dotted line. Those are all connected. So let's just make a quick change here. Let's change the spelling of Gale. Click Save. And like I said, you want to do this only when you're at the very end if you see you need to make a change. It's not mandatory that you expand the flow to submit the pages or anything. But let's say now you did this and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to need to add a student in here. So you would go over here to this side and it's probably, nope. And you could delete these, but then you're going to have to go over here since this one isn't expanded and reset the flow. And then it'll take them, put those back on there, take them all off. And I'm going to go ahead and remove those flow panels. And once we save this, I'm just going to go to the next page and come back just so it kind of resets things. Okay, so to add a flow panel, I'm going to put the names underneath this time. You'll go over here in the flow and these little thumbnails, you'll just click and drag one over. I'm going to click on my flow options again, uncheck my automatic, and I'm going to need to make these smaller so they fit on my page. You can change your width between the pictures and the space horizontally and vertically. Make them just a tiny bit bigger. You can also go in here and type in numbers if you need it very specific. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to put it over here. I want those to line up. And then I need to save it. So I've got Martin. And also I would have gone into my image library and added that student in. And then I would have had 32 images here. And I'm going to adjust the text size underneath the pictures a little bit. Save again. I've got Martin K, first, last, 31. I'm going to flow on 6 and 7. I'm going to click flow. And there they go over onto the page. Okay, so do we have any questions? I see a couple people couldn't hear me, and they're asking if the link will be sent out this weekend. Yes, we'll send it out tomorrow so that you guys can watch this again. So no one has any questions? Okay. Well, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope showing you how to organize your class portraits will save you time when creating your class pages. Please email or call tech support if you need further assistance. We will be happy to walk you through the organizing and flowing process. Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon.